Okay, so this is one of the new Max Amps Ultimate LiPo pair for the 1/16 scale E-REVO. Max Amps on their site pretty much says that these are waterproofed. In fact, they show a picture of them in a glass of water in a fishbowl. But one of the things you have to watch out for is the connectors, of course, will still short out, and your balance connector will short out. So I wasn't happy just letting them go into water like this, especially if the connectors were going to get underwater. So I went ahead and put balloons around them, just like this. That protects the balance connector, and then taped it all the way up so that the only thing that's visible at all is the actual connector that goes into the Traxxas plug. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to say is don't just run out and sink your mini E-REVO in a tub just to see what it's like. That's not a very good idea. When I decided I wanted to try to see if I could totally submerge the mini E-REVO, I went about it very carefully and made sure that I thought there was a good chance that I would actually be okay and the car would be okay. Not only that, but I'm willing to pay for it if I make a mistake and if I ruin something. So don't do it unless you're willing to ruin your car or your motors or your receiver or your batteries. Having said that, what I decided to do when I wanted to do this, try to sink the E-REVO completely underwater, I did some checking. The motor does not appear to be hurt by running underwater. It is brushless, but a lot of motors actually will run underwater with no problems. Sometimes it will hurt the brushes if you have heavy power underwater. And you can also hurt this motor, I believe, if you heavily accelerate underwater. But if you use minimum power when you're underwater, it doesn't really seem to hurt the motor. Also, the speed controller is actually completely waterproof and can be sunk at any time. In fact, it actually lets it run cooler if it's underwater because the water helps cool it. Your steering servo is already waterproof as well, so that's not a problem. And you have a radio box that somewhat protects your receiver, but I found out that it really doesn't protect it that much. And you can see here, I've actually cut it out and done some different modifications here. I originally tried it with just using the receiver box, the way it came, but it doesn't really stop the water, and it eventually seeps in and gets into your receiver. So that's definitely a problem. That's where I notice that you have the most problems with water if you're actually submerging it. So what I did is I actually cut the top of this receiver box out. I took the receiver out and I put a balloon around it and ran all the cables into the end of the balloon, and then taped it as tight as I could so that no water can get inside that balloon to into your receiver. And that seems to work a lot better, and I didn't have any problems. So just understand that when I decided to play with my E-REVO completely submerged underwater, I definitely took some precautions, and I also was willing to pay the price if something went wrong and I ruined my motor or my receiver or anything else. Now, since I actually played with my E-REVO in the pool and completely submerged it and even ran it underwater a little bit, I've let it all dry out. I've gotten the water out of the tires completely, put WD-40 on all the joints so that made sure that it got rid of the water that was in the bearings and what have you. I've run it dry and completely let everything dry out, and the car is actually fine. I've run it since then. It runs fine. There's nothing wrong with the motor. There's nothing wrong with the receiver or the speed controller. So it appears that as long as you take a little bit of precautions, you can actually have fun in the water. But once again, I don't recommend anybody to try this unless you're prepared to ruin your car if it doesn't work.